What are you doing? Videotaping me taking pictures.
I'm sly. I have to watch me.
That's all right.
Is that four-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw your right rear spin as you came out of that. Because that was a...
Well, why did we
See, I couldn't see.
see if there's a drop off, and I couldn't see that.
I asked her to look out because I couldn't tell what I had there. And oh my gosh, no idea we had a hole like that. What a beautiful day we're blessed with.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Tomorrow, you know, we have that big thing out in the tent. 90% chance of thunderstorms and from that tropical storm.
Yeah, Karen that's moving in. What an incredibly beautiful cemetery. This is the Davidson River Cemetery. Pisgah Forest, Brevard. And this is absolutely a perfect day for doing this kind of stuff. We just spent probably 20 minutes or so walking the cemetery and just weren't able to find John Barton's grave initially. And we were actually about to drive off. And I said, well, let's do another round. Let's just go walk again. And on the second walk, I found it. We were looking for a larger stone. We were going by a photograph that I brought with us from Find a Grave, and going by the shape of that stone, but it in the photograph appeared to be much larger than it actually is. Just glad we decided to stop and get out and go back again for a second look. Somebody's dogs are out for a romp this morning. I am so thrilled we found this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
I guess they must have had a marker, an older one that was sufficiently visible that they knew that was where he was. I mean, how else
would they know? Yeah, I'd say you're right about
guessing.
that.
Because these other markers are very
There's this rock
minimal.
behind here.
That looks like it's part of this though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be probably a footstone they put in place, but why is it so close to the headstone? That's kind of strange. Now, Babs, tell me the story of this stone. Who put it here?
His
I don't know.
grandchildren, it
His
says.
grandchildren, it says. I think it was probably done as a result of the Barton reunions that met down in Tigerville,
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And since Jason and Ruth Barton were direct descendants of his, I'm sure they had something to do with getting this put together. But they were not his grandchildren, because his grandchildren would have been like Lon Barton and
Right.
some of those others. They were his great-grandchildren.
Exactly. Now, Lon Barton, the correct name is
Alonzo Zachariah.
Alonzo Zachariah Barton.
But they called him Lon.
And his children were Ruth,
William, Jason, and Florence.
and you were descended from William.
From William. Mm-hmm.
Now, William had a middle name also, right? Didn't he?
William Pryor.
William Pryor. Barton.
P-R-I-O-R.
And you're descended from him.
I'm his granddaughter.
You're his granddaughter. Now, name the...
He only had one daughter, who was my mother, Alice.
Okay.
Ruth never married, so there were no descendants from her.
Right.
My sister and I are the only grandchildren of William. Jason had 2 daughters, and they had, I think, 4 grandchildren. And Florence had 1 son.
Okay.
And they had 3 children. So there are some descendants of them.
Sure, sure. And then going back the other way, Alonzo was the son
was the son of Harriet and William.
Harriet and William.
Barton.
And William was the son of this John Barton. John and Sophie Kettle Barton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sophie
and
Kettle. Yeah, Barton.
Right, and we found her grave yesterday over at the Cathy's Creek Church.
Right.
Which is only about maybe 10 miles from here or less, 8 miles or so.
The story I'd always heard was he was over here working and had died over here, and they just buried him here.
And I was saying, just speculating here, I know of other situations that were like this, though. Back in those days, if it were the winter, and we don't have a date here on the stone to show when he actually died, but I know of other situations where people did die in a harsh winter. There had to be a lot of snow, a lot of ice, this, that, and the other. And it was just too difficult to transport them from the area where they actually died over to other cemeteries where other loved ones were buried, and they just buried them very close to where they actually died, We'll probably never know the truth of that story.
Probably not.
And then the amazing thing, too, is that we know that John Barton is descended from, I believe, David Barton and Thomas Barton, who fought alongside Samuel King Sr. together actually in the same company.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah, in the 11th Virginia Regiment. Captain James Calderwood's company in the 11th Virginia Regiment, and those were Washington's Rangers, and they were together at the Battle of Brandywine, and then later at Valley Forge together. So what an incredible legacy. I mean, that is just a very, very strong heritage.
That's cool.
Well, so glad we found this.
Oh, I'm so glad we found it, yes.